Thank you for listening. A list of content warnings can be found in the episode description. Take care. Enjoy the show. Planescape Torment, the Unofficial audio series. A narrative let's play adapted and produced by RevocerGM. Combining in-game audio with additional voice acting through dialogue and descriptions to improve your listening experience. Rediscover the amazing story of the 1999 cult classic isometric video game, Planescape Torment, like you've never heard before. You have no idea of the time down here in the Undersigle, but it feels like an age since you last found any rest, and all three of you are more than weary from your struggles through the warrens and in the upper tombs. Scanning the edge of the basin, you find an empty hovel overlooking the gatehouse. Its crumbling walls are filled with holes, but as ensconced as it is in the skirts of the village, you feel it is already ruined well past collapsing. Inside, it appears to be the basement of whatever building stood above it, long sealed under the weight of the mountain of trash. You find plenty of old sacks piled up in the corners, their contents long rotten or eaten by whatever had chewed its way through their bases. But before you can raise any objections, Dakon has already gathered a neat pile and looks about to collapse upon them at any moment. Even Mort is gently lowered from his hovering, although you're not sure what sleep he truly needs. You are uncertain yourself of what effect a lack of sleep would have on your unique condition, but have no doubt your sanity may begin to suffer further if you were to attempt to push it. Even still, your mind cannot cease racing after the events of the day, or days, however long it's been, and you're drawn, once again, to the strange circle of stone and the teachings of Zerthamon. Almost without thinking, your hands remember the sequence of twists and turns that Dakon had shown you, and the next ring in the sequence effortlessly unlocks.
Zerthamon labored many turnings for the Illithid, Arlathi twice deceased, and his partnership in the cavernous heavens of the false worlds. His duties would have broken the backs of many others, but Zerthamon labored on, suffering torment and exhaustion. It came to pass that the Illithid, Arlathi twice deceased, ordered Zerthamon before him in his many-veined Galeria. He claimed that Zerthamon had committed slights of obstinance and cowardice against his partnership. The claim had no weight of truth, for Arlathi only wished to know if flames raged within Zerthamon's heart. He wished to know if Zerthamon's heart was one of a slave or of a rebel. Zerthamon surrendered to the Illithid punishment, rather than reveal his newfound strength. He knew that were he to show the hatred in his heart, it would serve nothing, and it would harm others that felt as he. He chose to endure the punishment, and was placed within the Pillars of Silence so he might suffer for returning. Lashed upon the pillars, Zerthamon moved his mind to a place where pain could not reach, leaving his body behind. He lasted a turning, and when he was brought before Arlathi twice deceased, he gave gratitude for his punishment to the Illithid, as was custom. In so doing, he proved himself a slave in the Illithid eyes, while his heart remained free. By enduring and quenching the fires of his hatred, he allowed Arlathi twice deceased to think him weak. When the time of the rising came, Arlathi was the first of the Illithid to know death by Zerthamon's hand, and die a third death.
You look to Dakon and see that despite his weariness, he too lies restless. His coal-black eyes, wide open, stare into the ceiling, reflecting the warm glow of the trash fires still burning within the village. His shifting glaive alters between a catalogue of textures, unable to settle.
Dakon? What is your will?
I have read the Unbroken Circle of Zerthamon.
What did you come to know?
Zerthamon endured suffering to protect his goals, knowing that to resist would see them ended. It teaches that one must endure. In enduring, grow strong. The words you speak seem to strike Dakon strangely. As you pass the stone back to him, the slightest crease tenses in his brow, and a look of anguish fills his eyes that he cannot hide.
Your will has brought you the knowing of the third circle of Zerthamon. With this knowing, I impart this to you.
He takes the circle, and with a deft motion twists one of the links so a new plate slides forth.
Meditate upon its teachings, and the knowing of it shall give you strength.
Very well. Do you agree?
Do I agree to what?
Dakon, I'm sorry.
Why?
His glaive ripples. I'm sorry that my actions, my goals, have led you to endure far more than any could ask. I thought I'd lost you. He remains silent for a moment. The tension in his jaw relaxes, and his glaive sharpens to 2 elongated points.
By your actions, I know your heart. I am glad that we were able to return the father's body to the villager.
Right. Well, I need to go back down and find whatever it is that Pharod is looking for. I want you to know that while I cannot ask any more from you than you've already given, I would like you by my side.
Know that as long as I draw breath, I will remain at your side. This blade is yours. Your path is mine.
Very well. Is there more you can teach me on the ways of Zerthamon? You notice that Dakon isn't looking at you any longer. He is holding the unbroken circle in his hands, studying it closely, and his blade shifts again, now taking on the same texture as the stone. His face looks worn and hollow. Dakon?
Know that I did not believe you would come to know the teachings of the circle. It is a difficult path you will walk in learning the way of Zerthamon. Is your mind focused on this matter?
Yes, I wish to learn more. Dakon once again shows the sequence of twists upon the circle, before resetting it and handing it back to you.
The next circle of Zerthamon is open to you. Study it. Then I will hear your words.
Very well. I will read it, then speak with you again. Thank you. Let's get some rest.
Let's.
A pale light bounces across your face, and your eyes slowly flutter open. Blearily, you try to recall your surroundings, and hear the slow sound of heavy breathing in the corner of the room. The glow of a small candle illuminates a hunched figure. Their hands, outstretched, play about the flame, causing strange shadows to dance across the ceiling. Hey, Mort.
What?
You see this?
Who in the hell's? Should we wake Dakon?
Not yet. Let's see. Hey, you there. They look up as you rise to your feet, unperturbed by your presence. And you see now, lit by the anemic glow of the flame, a burly man with a slackened jaw. A brief flare of grey flickers within his eyes. Who are you? He blinks at you, placidly. Who are you? You raise a finger to point at him, and he mirrors the action before pointing at himself.
Ojo.
Okay, Ojo.
I had some questions for you.
Ojo just stares.
Tell me about yourself.
He looks away from you, rubbing his hand.
All right. Can you tell me about the buried village?
He looks back at you, wonder in his eyes.
A village of people. Tell me about the people of this village.
Who?
Altera.
Scary witch.
All right. Tell me about some of the others.
Who?
Pharod.
Pharod.
Okay. How about Quint?
Quint.
Gris.
Dead.
What?
Gris dead.
How do you know he's dead?
Man in wall told me.
Man in the wall? Well, does this man in the wall know where Gris's body is?
In the crying place.
Right. Well, tell me about this man in the wall.
Ojo looks towards one of the walls and then turns back to you, eyes narrowed and the corner of his mouth twitching.
What are you doing?
Ojo talked to
He stops abruptly and massages his hand. It looks inflamed, and a large scab peels from his skin.
What happened to your hand?
a bit.
Who bit you, Ojo?
He stares at the wall, eyes wide with amazement. Mort then bobs towards him.
Hey there, big hitter.
Ojo turns away from the wall and stares at Mort, the greyish light smoldering in his eyes.
Who you?
Come on now, you can tell us.
You leave.
All right, Mort, that's enough.
Yeah.
Whatever you say, boss.
No. You leave. You leave.
Let's get out of here.
The three of you make your way to the gatehouse.
Top of the morning, lads.
Your joviality is met with grumbles, and Bar, the gate guard, looks at you with mingled fear and loathing, but hastens to open the gates. He does not meet your eye as you pass. Back down in the catacombs, you take your time checking the pathways for danger and quietly move on, ignoring any smaller tombs, whether they hold treasures or no. Pharod had said the sphere would be deep under the village, far deeper than his collectors had dared venture before. And so, you find what tunnels are carved into the depressions of the stony floor and head downward. Deeper within the catacombs, the rivulets of moisture become trickling streams, and the lingering smell of decay fades to a cold mineral tang. You pass great stone faces carved into the walls, like eerie watchers, silent, witnessing all that pass. Eventually, you come to one network of passages that is almost completely ruined. The walls have caved in, smashing down into a layer of tunnels below, and from what you can tell, it looks as if it were intentional. Chunks and chisel marks have been beaten out of some of the lower portions of the stonework, and the loose rock is piled up to form a kind of stairway, with several ropes tracking by its side, secured by iron pegs hammered into the rubble.
Hey, Mort, any chance you could just float on down and have a quick look around?
Chief, I would, but I don't want to deprive you of the thrill of descending blind into the darkness.
Is that so?
You toss your torch over the edge of the debris and watch it fall about 30 feet before clattering across the stony floor below. You then loop your arm through one of the lengths of rope. It feels damp and a little worn, but seems sturdy enough to hold your weight should you slip.
Well, watch my back, I guess.
The rope creaks and strains as you pick your way down the broken stones, and the constant flow of water has made slick patches of mold spread along the surface. But, after a little effort, you make it to the base and signal for Mort and Dakon to follow. This lower hall is a cavernous space with great arching panels lining the walls. Strange carvings decorate the stonework, but they are difficult to make out, and you cannot tell if they have been worn over time, or if the decorations are intentionally formless. Smooth, organic shapes twist into spirals and sprout clusters of bulbous protrusions. It hurts your eyes to try and focus on the images, but it almost hurts your mind as you try and fathom them. Towards one end of the hall, set before a descending passage, is a large sculpture. It appears to have once been a globe made of reddish stone, encased within a crown of probing tentacles. But now, it is cracked and covered in scratches and chips, and seems to be marred with a foul-smelling substance.
This was the symbol of Manzakorian, a god of secrets and the exploitation of knowledge, and one of the perverse deities of the Illithids.
Dakon's grip tightens about his glaive, and its edge spreads into a row of vicious, serrated teeth.
We should move on. The rat stink is strong down here.
Indeed, the pungent musk of rodent fur and excrement hangs about the place, and it only gets stronger as you travel further through the tunnels. You begin to notice jagged marks scraped along the flagstones, and hear the gradually building clacking of clawed feet echo about the halls around you.
Chief, I'm not sure we can avoid this. What do we do?
I don't know. Make a break for it?
Whatever we do, we should act fast.
The sounds grow louder and heavier. These are not just rats, but something far larger.
Go!
You race down the hallway as two bestial figures emerge from out the gloom. A shadow of fur and blades, they pounce to strike. You throw your shoulder into one, knocking it into the wall as the other casts a net that Dakon shears with a strike. Rushing along, you pass several more as hooked staves swing to trick you. You leap, dashing from their reach, scattering packs of cranium rats from under your feet. Light peeks ahead, a doorway. Perhaps you can hold them at a choke point. You have no choice. Sprinting, you swing through the threshold, slamming the wooden boards behind you. A crashing thud as heavy bodies smash through your barricade, pounding you into the dust. Before you can rise, a troop of snarling man-rat hybrids file in, surrounding you. Their thick, worm-like tails lashing, they bear hungry, needled grins.
Stand down!
One, more decorated than the rest, steps forward and grasps your chin with a gauntleted paw. It leers into your face, locking its gaze with yours. Their red eyes gleam with a certain cunning.
So, a biped comes, willing to the halls of many as one. What do you want, and where do you intend to go? Step lightly, intruder, and speak the truth to Mantuok.
We were just leaving.
No, no, biped. You were not. Now, answer my question. What do you want, and where are you going?
We came here through the buried village, and we're down here exploring.
The village. Refresh my mind. The scavengers, yes? Have you come to scavenge?
No, I have not.
Then your answer forces Mantuok to inquire, why are you here? A wrong turn? A bad step? A succession of mistakes? Yes? Have you come seeking me, or many as one? Perhaps you simply do not know why you are here. You will explain this to me, now.
It was a succession of mistakes.
A succession of mistakes. Yes. It would have been much better for you to have made one less mistake and not have found your way here.
What do you mean?
This is no place for man. No place for man at all.
He stares deep into your eyes and begins sniffing you.
You are truly ignorant yet. Clear it is that you have come here in error. Shame. It seems we must learn to live with your stench. You will never see the light of day again.
As he speaks, he weaves his hands in an intricate pattern, and smoke begins to pour from out his fingers.
No, wait, we can talk this
Before you can finish, the fumes envelop you and choke out your lungs. Your skin goes numb, and you watch as Morton Dakon begin to crumble and flake away. Shock and nausea overwhelm you, and you feel your body collapse as your world dissolves into darkness. Then, stinging agony as sensation floods back to your limbs, and you materialize from the smoke, scattering onto the cold, wet floor of a darkened chamber. You are lying in a shallow puddle of icy water. A slow drip falls from the ceiling above. There is just enough light reflecting off the pool to reveal the rusted bars of your cell. Mort and Dakon are nowhere to be seen. You are uncertain how much time has passed since the ambush in the tunnels, but periodically your solitude is punctuated by the arrival of another of the rat men as they amble by on patrol. They are a strange creature. It is hard to make out detail in the low light, but their form is lanky yet hunched, with thick shoulders and skinny limbs. Their snuffling breath is sharp and ragged, and they mutter frequently with an erratic hissed displeasure of their current assignment.
Hey, guard.
Glad, it would seem, of any excuse to alleviate the tedium, the wandering were-rat shuffles towards your cage.
What you want? Meat?
I just want to talk to you.
You just want to talk, eh? Well, you keep your hands to your side. No tricks will get past O'Rymon, that's for sure. What are you, anyway? A corpse? Some trio, you.
Trio? My friends, my companions. Are they here?
Oh, they? No, I'm not answering that. No tricks, eh?
Hey, what did you say your name was? Rymon? Rymon, look, if you let me out of here now, I'll let you live.
You let me live? If I let you out?
You heard me right.
Oh, you would, eh? Oh, and what might make it worth our while to disobey Mantiwalk and risk the wrath of the rats?
Is your life not enough? I'll say it again. If you let me out of this cage now, I'll allow you to live.
Rymon looks you over and sneers.
You think you could hurt me, hey? You'll have to find a way out first.
Well, think about it. I am clearly a danger to you, otherwise I wouldn't be in here. And yet, I'm speaking to you as an equal. Do you really think these bars can hold me if I put my mind to it? I suggest, without threatening you, that it's in your best interests to let me go.
The were-rat goes silent for a moment.
Well, I never cared much for...
Get away from the cage, underling. I must speak with the biped.
Mantiwalk comes striding towards you and brushes the guard aside. There is a tense fury about him, and he wraps his staff against your cage near your hands.
Say again, intruder. What is your purpose within the catacombs? Do not lie, it will not serve you well.
I said I was exploring and had no intention of intruding on your territory.
You have been spied amongst our kin, biped. A shadow of intrigue follows you. The Many as One has taken notice of your passage.
Then I should speak with this Many as One. I have no doubt we would have much to gain from the discussion.
He leans in, eyeing you closely, a manic grin growing on his face.
Your business. Speak it to me, biped. And I shall convey your intentions to the Many.
I don't think so.
And why? What business could you have with Many as One who had not been a thought in your head until our meeting? That cannot be shared with me.
That is no concern of yours.
I am the claw of us. We, Many as One. You will tell me your business.
Twitching, he calms himself, biting down with gritted fangs.
You shall tell me, or you shall have difficulties, yes?
If this many as one wishes to speak, they would make you suffer if you were to try and harm me, Mantuak.
Mantuak jumps, thrashing his neck.
Nasty, nasty, nasty human! Threatens Mantuak, disrespects Mantuak, spits upon his duty, speaks barbed threats to Mantuak's ears. No friends have you made today, human.
He strains as if a collar had been pulled about his throat, and his eyes flicker, scanning the air. Then his head tilts, and he relaxes again. When his eyes refocus, they are filled with loathing.
Your business had better be worth hearing, biped, or your torment will be legendary. To many as one we go. You'll speak your piece.
You are dragged to your feet and forcibly pushed through the dark tunnels of this rat warren. It's hard to keep track of the narrow passageways, and the low light suffers little chance to gather information on your whereabouts. But you catch some glimpses of the scale of the place. Cluttered batteries full of old siege equipment and disused war machines, racks of weaponry lining the walls, cruel torture devices, and the occasional decomposing body or pile of bones. You recognize the collector's robes bundled on the floor. With proper organization, you have no doubt these tunnels could house a small army and pose a real threat to the city above. Eventually, you are shoved through a hatch into a high chamber. You can barely make out a series of shelved platforms rising above. Mantuak snarls with glee.
Many-voiced master, I come bearing a gift. This interloper has much to share with you. Go? But... You and I shall meet again, biped.
I'm looking forward to it. The hatch closes, leaving you in total darkness. A strange humming creeps into your mind. Then, gradually, tiny glinting pinpricks flicker about you. 10, 20, 100, 1,000 grey star-like points fill the space, and the skittering sound of clawed feet and rat-like squeaks swells. You are lifted as if caught in the crest of a rising wave.
Murderer.
You are staggered by the sound of unknowable voices speaking as one into your mind. There is a depth and an insistence to the communication that beggars speech.
Speak your purpose here, biped, and speak swiftly and true. You are in the halls of many as one. You will not leave, but by our grace. No, we see your mind and smell your lies. Speak.
Who are you?
We are the eyes in the dark places. We are the many who think as one. You need not ask questions. You need only answer ours. What do you do in this place? So far from the lighted corridors of your kind.
I came to see you, many as one.
You lie, biped.
Suddenly, the many eyes flare, and you see Morton Dakon suspended in tendrils of light, as though coiled in the clutches of some tentacled beast.
You were seen in the tunnels. You were seen in the scavenger village. You were seen amongst the tombs. We have seen you countless times before. You are a spy, a murderer. You are an assassin.
No, I am not.
You lie.
This ain't good, Chief. Watch what you say, or they'll wipe your mind clear. Mort!
Silence.
In these warrens of thought, we, us, many as one, reign supreme. Speak your mind and banish lies from thought. Why do you tread these lightless halls?
If you can read my mind, then why must I speak?
A surge of pain racks your body like the piercing of 1,000 needles.
We can't read your mind, biped. Do not test us.
Then you know who sent me, and you know what I am capable of.
You force the bluff out of your thoughts and focus on a name. Bar the gate guard comes to mind.
The Silent King sent you. Assassin. Murderer.
Who?
Do not pretend. It will not serve you well.
You can't read my mind. Why not?
Another surge, this time deeper, as if it could flex and warp your very bones.
Your mind may be walled to us, but you can die like any creature.
No, I cannot.
You are wrong. You live at our indulgence. We are everywhere here.
Light pours into your chest, and you feel as if you might explode. Your tendons screech, blood vessels swell. Perfect agony.
Perhaps we cannot kill you outright. But we can make you scream for death's release. We can bury you in endless earth. We can banish you to eternal fire. We can destroy all that you can.
All right. Stop. What do you want?
We may have use for you.
What is it? Let us go, and I'll do what you need.
Such bargains require trust. We cannot trust you.
How can I convince you?
Prove yourself worthy of trust. Go to the halls of the walking dead. Strike down their leader. Kill the Silent King. End him.
If you have not already done this yourself with such power, then how could I?
We can scale many things, but your mind is a barrier to us. This makes you dangerous, invisible, an assassin. The dead are entrenched, difficult to harm. Their Silent King, a mystery. We do not like mysteries. We strike where there is no doubt. The Silent King makes us doubt. You make us doubt. Perhaps you can strike the Silent King.
And if we do, you will allow us safe passage through the catacombs.
Do this, and we will spare you. Leave you and your companions to find doom within the tunnels above and below. Please us, and we will share a wealth of knowledge, secrets blocked from your mind. Do not, then have no doubt we will strike down all you know. There would be no escape.
The light flares again, and you see the towering structure above you. An endless horde of glowing rats, channeling their power as one.
I accept.
Very well.
At once, the pale glow funnels down through the tower and forces out the hatch, bursting along the corridor.
Go. Follow the light. We will guide you to the dead's domain.
A coursing chain of rats illuminates your passage, leading you through the winding routes of the catacombs. Dakon and Mort, harrowed and exhausted, follow close by until you finally arrive at a large gateway.
Please us, murderer.
As you push against the ornate panel, the last of the rats skitter out of sight.
Stop!
You are met by a phalanx of gleaming spears, fronted by a tall knightly figure, its skeletal hand outstretched, palm towards you.
Thou have come too far, traveler, and trespassed into the dead nations, realm of the Silent King. Will thou submit peacefully?
Submit to what?
'Tis the will of the Silent King that all who pass the gates into our nation become prisoners of his lands. Will thou submit?
Very well. We'll submit.
Come then, we shall show thee to the chapel. Do not resist, and by our honor you shall meet no harm.
Thank you for listening to Planescape Torment, the unofficial audio series, a RevocerGM production. To support the show and those involved, please consider subscribing to our Patreon or donating via our Ko-fi page. Links to both are in the description.